it's Yay for Yarn, and today I'm doing a review on Lion Brand Color Made Easy yarn. So I just recently made my first project with this yarn, and it was my Dottie pullover in this pink color. And so I just thought I would kind of share my experience with this yarn and what I think of it compared to some other bulky weight acrylic yarns that I use. So this yarn is made by Lion Brand, and this is a pretty decent sized skein. This is a number 5 bulky weight yarn, and it is pure acrylic. So this is a 7 ounce or 200 gram skein, and it has a pretty good amount of yarn in it. This colorway is called Ultraviolet, and this one is Millennial Pink. And I think it is a pretty nice quality yarn. And I want to kind of go over what I think of it as far as the feel of it, the texture, how it knits and crochets, and then I want to show you a different yarn that I want to compare this to. Alright, so here is my Dottie pullover, and this is a knitted sweater. It's made with raglan shaping. I have the free pattern on my channel and on my blog. So I just wanted to kind of show you the texture of this. Now this is worked from the top down, so the texture of the stitches is actually upside down from the way it would normally be, so I'm going to go ahead and just flip it around. So if we were knitting this going this direction as we normally would, this is kind of what the texture of this fabric looks like. Now I found this yarn to have a very smooth strand to it, and the strand of the yarn is very round. It has a lot of twist in it, so it's kind of springy. And that smooth round strand gives nice stitch definition. It doesn't have a lot of fuzz to it, but it has some nice stitch definition because of the way it's spun. Now I haven't actually crocheted any projects with this yarn yet, but I have crocheted a little bit of a swatch, and I think it crochets up very nicely. It makes a very nice soft fabric, and it gives some nice stitch definition for crochet too because of that round spin of the yarn. So if I kind of do a close-up of how this is spun, you can see how that, it's not a tight, dense spin, but there's a lot of twist in the spin, so that it does kind of make a very round strand. Now, I will say that if the spin in your yarn starts untwisting, then yes, it does separate the plies of the yarn. That can happen with pretty much any yarn that's not a single ply, but the plies of the yarn can separate if you untwist the twist in the yarn. Now I didn't find this yarn to be too much, prone to splitting. Any yarn can split every once in a while, especially if you're using sharp knitting needles, but this yarn did not split real bad for me. I didn't have a lot of problems with it just splitting all the time. I did have it split sometimes, but I was using sharp needles. And if it split, it was because I inserted the sharp needle into the strand instead of behind the strand. So that can happen with any yarn. So now let's talk about how it feels. I think this is a very nice quality acrylic yarn. It's very soft, very squishy. It has a wonderful feel to it, but it does not have even the slightest bit of scratchiness or like plasticky feel that some cheap acrylic yarns have. So I think this is a very nice quality yarn, and it has a really good texture and squish to it. It's very soft, no scratchiness whatsoever. Now one thing I want to point out here, as you probably can't see this on the camera, but this yarn is made in Turkey. And acrylic yarns that are made in Turkey, just from my experience, I don't have like any research or something to back this up, but just from my experience and what I have bought and tried and used, acrylic yarns that are made in Turkey generally tend to be slightly higher quality than acrylic yarns made in China. I don't know why this is, but the way that they're made when they're made in Turkey is just a little bit different for some reason. I have tried a few other acrylic yarns that were made in Turkey. I'm pretty sure one of them that I tried was discontinued, but every yarn that I have tried that is made in Turkey, as far as acrylics, they tend to have a very nice soft texture with no scratchiness to them at all. That's not to say that every yarn that's made in China is going to be scratchy, because that's not true. But If you're looking for a generally slightly softer acrylic yarn, yarns that are made in Turkey, from what I have tried and from what I have used, tend to be slightly better in quality than the yarns that are made in China. However, I do want to compare this to a yarn that is made in China, but is still very nice quality yarn, and that is Knit Picks Brava Bulky. Now, I have used this a lot. I've used Knit Picks Brava in other thicknesses or other yarn weights many times. I have used probably dozens upon dozens upon dozens of skeins of this yarn, of Brava, in some form or another. So I know I've made at least half a dozen pretty good sized blankets out of this brand of yarn. So what I wanted to point out here is that this yarn, while it doesn't have quite as much twist in it, it is also not real splitty. It has a very nice, soft, smooth feel to it with no scratchiness, and it's made in China. So, there are a lot of the cheaper acrylic yarns that are made in China that do have a scratchiness to them or a plasticky feel to them, or, have a little bit of a lower quality level. But there are some kinds of yarn made in China that are pretty nice. So I think this yarn is very close in quality to the Color Made Easy yarn. I would say that the Lion brand Color Made Easy is only slightly higher quality than the Brava. But what I wanted to point out here is that even if this yarn does have a slightly better feel to it, this skein is a 200 gram skein, 7 ounces. This skein costs $8.99 on lionbrand.com for 200 grams of acrylic, bulky weight acrylic. This skein is 100 grams of bulky weight acrylic, and this skein costs $1.99. So even if I bought 2 of these skeins to equal one of these, this would still only cost me $4 instead of $9 for the same amount of yarn. And although the Color Made Easy yarn is very soft, very nice quality, the Brava Bulky is too. It has a very good softness to it and a smooth texture, and it doesn't have any scratchy feeling at all. I've used this yarn for years, and I've used a lot of it. So, I haven't ever had any problems with this yarn. So I guess my point is that even though this has a slightly nicer feel to it, for me, most of the time, unless I get this when it's on sale, I would not spend more than twice the price to get this yarn over this yarn. Now, if this is on sale for 40 or 50% off, then would I use it again? Would I buy it again? Absolutely. It's a very nice quality yarn. But most of the time, when this is not on sale, I will probably be using more of Knit Picks Brava than Color Made Easy, mainly because of the difference in the price. I don't feel that the slightly nicer feel in this yarn is worth more than double the price that you would pay for this. And, this comes in a lot of beautiful colors that are great, fashion type of colors, but this yarn also comes in a ton of colors. So I think they're both good quality yarns. And like I said, I do think the Color Made Easy has a slightly nicer feel to it. But unless this is on sale for 40 or 50% off, to me it's not worth paying more than double when I could buy Brava Bulky for a much cheaper price, and I think it's a very nice quality yarn as well. So I think these are both great yarns. I think it just really depends on, what you're looking for in price point, what you're looking for as far as this you can buy from craft store and this you have to order online. It really just depends on what you're looking for in a yarn. But if you are shopping in a craft store and you need a number 5 bulky weight yarn, this is a great choice, but I would highly recommend getting it with a coupon or when it's on sale so that you can save a bit of money off of the price, because I personally think the price on this is a little high. But if you can shop online and, you have the choice to shop online or in a craft store and you want to save a few bucks, this is a really nice option for that. So whenever Color Made Easy is on sale, I will probably buy it again. I will definitely use it again in future projects. But whenever it's not on sale, I will always reach for my old standby, the Brava Bulky, when I'm looking for a budget-friendly bulky weight acrylic yarn. So those are my thoughts on the Lion brand Color Made Easy yarn, and I hope you found that helpful. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of the Color Made Easy yarn in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, making sure you click the little bell next to the subscribe button to be notified of new videos. Thanks for watching.